We will call to order the regular board meeting for the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. Good morning. My name is Marisol Hernandez. I'm the chairperson. Seated to my right is Commissioner William Cressy, and to my left is Commissioner Jonathan Swain. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the agenda. Any changes? Seeing none, we'll proceed with the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 17, 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And as well as the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 28, 2017, and these are the morning minutes. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the Executive Director's Report. Mr. Gough?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Just to let the board members know, give them a recap of the last couple of weeks. On Friday, March 3rd, we had a meeting. We were invited to attend the Election and Campaign Finance Committee of the Illinois House of Representatives. And that was over at the Bolandic Center. They had some questions for us. Some were about polling place locations. We gave them a list of the different polling place locations we have in the city of Chicago. There was a question about accessibility, Americans with disabilities. I had Zena from Equip for Equality with us. She spoke very well. We talked about universal vote centers. It's going to get to the point where precincts, polling places are harder and harder to find. This agency must look in universal vote centers. It's just harder and harder to find locations in different parts of the city. And an overview of military and overseas voting. And we gave them samples of our ballots. Downstate representatives don't know what we go through with our printing of the different languages, so we gave them a set of all of our ballots in different languages, and they were quite impressed. And that happened on Friday, March 3rd. I know Commissioner Cressy was in the background and saw the presentation. I don't know what type of feeling you have there, sir, but I think it.
Well, I will tell you, I had the pleasure of attending the meeting and listening to the presentation by our executive director. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do the entire presentation he had prepared, but he acquitted himself honorably, and our entire team did. So it was a very good presentation.
Well, thank you so much. The next one was on March 9th. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights had a question and answer, and we had Shobhana Johri-Verma was talking about language accessibility, and it was really interesting. First of all, she did an excellent job. Second of all, I was really proud because it was part of the presentation that I gave in Washington, D.C. about language accessibility, and it was a big hit. Some of the members on the commission I happen to know, in fact, had dinner with one or two of them that Saturday night. Commissioner Swain and I had a club meeting, and we had dinner with a couple of the members there, so it was quite interesting. We also, Monika, on one of the commissions made a comment about our outreach to the Polish community, and she said how wonderful Monika has been giving information to the Polish community about language accessibility. And later on that night, Jane Lau gave a presentation using the same PowerPoint in the Chinese community. So overall, that day was quite a success. The other item is yesterday. we had a polling place accessibility working group with parts of the city agencies, park districts, libraries, schools, et cetera. And it went very well with 2FM about what we need to do for 2018. And I did not know what the meeting was going to be like, but it was very positive. All the different agencies seemed to understand what we were trying to do and what needed to be done. And we're going to work in it to get it done for 2018. So I was quite impressed and was quite happy.
That's great.
Otherwise, the staff has been working hard. And that's all I have, and I know Ms. Bateman has some items to bring up, and so does Mr. Allen.
Ms. Bateman, good morning.
I also want to mention I attended the Civil Rights and Voting in Illinois presentation on Friday, and yes, Shobhana Johri-Verma did a fantastic job. She was really, really good. Last Friday, we conducted the 5% audit at the warehouse. It being a small election, it only included 2 precincts and 1 early voting E2P. So it started and ended pretty quick. That went smooth. Provisional ballots, we had 25 provisional ballots counted on election day, and they processed 2. The 25, 2 were counted. And that's about it. Election day went well, went smooth. And now everyone's just either cleaning up from both still November as well as February, and then ready, kicking into gear for 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Thank you.
And I do want to, congratulate both of you, Mr. Allen, Mr. Scanlon, and the rest of the staff, because that election was so smooth. It really, really worked out well, and I know there are many residents of the 4th Ward complimented us, and so thank you very, very much. Mr. Allen?
Nothing really to report other than preparations for 2018 are underway. And we're looking to add some safeguards to the website right now. So we're using this downtime to reconfigure some items. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is old business and infrastructure projects and changes in election administration. Is there anything?
We are working, as I've discussed with the board members, we're working on having another demonstration from vendors. We're going to do it in our lower level conference room. We're scheduled for them to arrive on the 12th and to conduct it on the 13th. We're going to do something different. We're going to give them each time. Go ahead. I'm sorry. We're going to give them each time slots to give their presentations. So it's something that we're doing different. We're waiting to hear back from the vendors, so
Okay.
I think it should be very well attended.
Do you anticipate anything on the 12th other than them setting up, or will there
No,
be?
just setting up on the 12th.
And electronic poll books? And I
Nothing new to report. All went well on election day.
Judd, after, I think everything went well, right?
Yeah, the poll books ran well, connectivity was good throughout the day, really no issues.
Okay.
Very pleased.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Voting equipment, we just discussed that, and legislation. Mr. Scanlon, is there anything?
Well, Madam Chairwoman, there is a Senate Executive Committee meeting tomorrow in Springfield at 1 o'clock. They'll be taking up a couple of bills, including Senate Bill 1933 that deals with automatic voter registration, and also Senate Bill, I believe, 1479 that would extend grace period registration to nursing home voting, so that on the day or days on which nursing home voting would be conducted, residents of the nursing homes would also be permitted to register to vote or to change their registration, just like other voters are able to do on election day in their precinct polling places. There is a meeting on Thursday of the House Elections and Campaign Finance Committee. As of yesterday, there were no bills posted to that committee. I'm not able to get any internet here, so I can't check on this morning. But if there are any bills posted, I will let the commissioners know. It may be another subject matter hearing similar to the three previous meetings they've had, both in Springfield and Chicago. But I will apprise the board if there are any bills that are posted for hearing on that date.
Okay, thank you. We go on to new business, and there is an amendment number 2 to the agreement with K-Design /A&E. Mr. Allen, are you able to
Certainly.
explain this?
So the board had received a federal grant through the Federal Voting Assistance Program, which is an arm of the Pentagon, in very early 2012, actually late 2011. And with that grant, we acquired a system through Everyone Counts for a cost of $375,000. And that was a term contract that lasted 5 years, so that handled our elections in 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16. The contract expired, averaged cost slightly more than $75,000 a year. So we began talking with our website vendor, which is K-Design, now A&E Data Solutions, given that they already provide online applications for vote by mail. They already provide online sample ballots. They already provide all of these in English, Spanish, Chinese, and Hindi. So we're going to expand their contract at a much lower cost than this previous contract. So it's a one-time fee of $31,200 for development and unlimited licensing for the board, and then monthly servicing and hosting of $850 a month for about $10,000 a year. So this is, even the first year for the development cost is roughly half the cost of 1 year under the old contract, and then it's going to go down from there. So we've had considerable success with A&E in the past, and that is why we're recommending this at this time.
Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve amendment number 2 between the Board of Election Commissioners and K-Design Data Solutions for the period April 1st, 2016 through March 31st, 2018 in the amount of the development fee, $31,200, and the additional monthly amount of $850 per month for maintaining the particular site. And this is in addition to the fees under the agreement where we pay the contractor $2,150 per month for the maintenance and support services, provided that doesn't exceed $51,600. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, and amendment number 2 is approved. Next item on the agenda is the financial report There is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the City of Chicago 2016 appropriation, number 16-09, dated March 14, 2017, in the amount of $77,876.92. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. There is also a balance sheet and voucher listing for the City of Chicago 2017 appropriation, voucher number 17-01, dated March 14, 2017, in the amount of $683,659.11. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Lastly, there is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the Council of Cook 2017 appropriation, voucher number 17-01, dated March 14, 2017, in the amount of $48,580. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Madam
Next,
Chair, did we skip over legal first?
we may have.
I believe the chairwoman knew that I had nothing to report.
I just wanted to make sure that you had nothing to report.
My favorite kind of report from you, sir.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the public comment, and we have one individual, Mr. Don Olson. Mr. Olson?
Good morning.
Well, first, I want to say that I am not a lawyer, and I am not a party to the pending litigation against the Board of Elections that some poll watchers have brought. But I'm a little baffled by the Board of Elections. So I just want to say this to you. I'm not expecting that you're going to respond to me, because I'm expecting that you will cite pending litigation and unadvised counsel, which are some phrases that poll watchers have been hearing a lot in the past few months from the board and its representatives. But just
The
to...
only time a poll watcher would hear that would be on election day at a polling place. Why would anybody say that? We're not there.
Well, at the
Did you have a
5%
specific citing?
tabulation, and actually at this meeting, I've heard that phrase.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, I just want to be
At these
specific
meetings.
about it. It was
Okay.
at the tabulation, at the 5% audit?
yes, yes. In November and just recently,
Mhm.
the last one. So, there was the March 2016 5% retabulation. Some poll watchers were there. They saw things that they thought were inappropriate, so they eventually brought a lawsuit against the Board of Elections, because they felt that the numbers were being given to the counters, and then they were just the tabulators, and they were just meeting the numbers they were already given. So a lawsuit was brought. Now the board, in response to seeing the affidavits from those poll watchers, decided to have an independent study done, which I thought was a good thing. That was a good idea. And that independent study was done. I actually wanted to be interviewed for that study, as you know, and was not. But the report came out from that independent study, and it basically verified what the poll watchers had said, that the 5% audit had some definite problems, and that it should be, number one, that it should be a blind audit. The people tabulating the votes should not be given the election results that they were to achieve, but they should just do a blind count, and then it was to be seen whether they matched the election results, among other recommendations that they made. So that when the November 5% retabulation came around, the board actually did adopt some of these things, which I thought was a good thing. It showed good faith on your part. And what we discovered was that the 5% retabulation, which had always taken, I think, about 4 or 5 days in the past, when the tabulators weren't given the election results, it takes a lot longer. They counted, they were sent back to count again, they were sent, there may have been as many as 4 counts on some of these, especially the early voting machines that were being counted when they were tabulating the tapes. So, I spoke to you about that 5% retabulation, that I didn't really like the way the poll watchers were being treated. Everyone in the room, everyone who had a part in the 5% retabulation was allowed to sit down in the room, but poll watchers were not allowed to sit. Poll watchers had to stand for 9 hours. That seemed a little hostile, and not in a spirit of us all working together. That bothered me. But then came the things that happened after that. So the 5% audit took 11 days, and it wasn't finished. And nobody knew how long it would take because you had never done a blind audit of the election results before. So 11 days, and it wasn't done. Now, according to the Illinois Election Code, the board is supposed to finish that 5% retabulation before the proclamation of results. But you went ahead and proclaimed the results without having finished that 5% retabulation. We didn't know what had actually happened beyond that, so we went the following week to the Illinois State Board to find out if you had reported the results, if the 5% retabulation had been finished, and we didn't know. We knew that it stopped at 6 o'clock the day before the proclamation, but we didn't know anything beyond that. Was it finished during the night? We had no idea. We went to the Illinois State Board and asked our questions. And of course, when they knew that we were in the room, they immediately started investigating. And we sat there for 4 hours before we were allowed to speak. By the time we did speak, they already had some of the answers. And we knew that the Chicago board had not reported any results of a 5% retabulation to the state board, as you're required to do by the election code.
I'm going to stop you there because I don't know where you're getting your information from.
That's in the election code.
No, that we had not reported.
Oh, that you had not reported? That the Illinois State Board said you had not reported. So, well, let me just finish, and then if you want to ask some questions of me or where I got my information. They said that you had, that the board, Illinois, that the Chicago Board of Elections had not reported its results. Now, they, by state law, are required to get all this information from the various election boards in the state of Illinois before they make their proclamation, but they went ahead and made their proclamation that day. Now, then we talked to them about all this. The fact that what they told us was they had received nothing from you, and they were on the phone to you as that meeting was going on, trying to find out where these results were. So the code had been broken, because, first of all, because the 5% audit had not been finished. Second, because the results had not been reported to the state. And third, you went ahead and made the proclamation without having finished it. And then again, the state board went ahead and made their proclamation without having gotten these results. So what they told us at that meeting, which was on the following Monday after your proclamation, which was on Tuesday, they told us that they would try to get the results from you, and they would send them to us as soon as they got them. So on that Wednesday in the late afternoon, they said that they had received the results from you, and they immediately sent them to us. And what we discovered on that was that you had not continued to complete the 5% audit. So if I'm remembering correctly, don't hold me to this, but I think there were 2,232 ballot positions on 22 early voting machines that remained unresolved. In other words, the hand count never did match the machine numbers.
Just to inform you, your time is long expired.
Okay. So when I'll wrap it up here.
Sure.
I mean, these are important things. So this is important stuff. Now, I heard an official, I will not name this person, a Chicago elected official, say, well, this court case really isn't that important. But this 5% retabulation is the only time we have anything that resembles an observable count of our election results. So I think it's very important, even though in this, I understand that in the election code, there are no consequences to this 5% audit. If this 5% audit ever discovered that the 5% was completely incorrectly counted, this would not affect the election results at all, according to the election code, which I think is terrible. So my point is, I just wanted to say all this because we haven't really said this. Now, the 5% audit on March 3rd was, the poll watchers were not allowed to see anything.
No.
They were told it would begin at 9 o'clock. It had obviously begun before 9 o'clock because it was at least half
It
finished.
did not,
by the-
it began,
It did not.
it began after
Why
It did
9
not.
o'clock.
Wait. There was, you have to understand, you're comparing a November election with 80-plus ballot positions and a 76% turnout and 50 wards to a one-ward election when there's only one office on the ballot. You can go through 40 ballots inside of a
Well,
minute.
I understand that.
Please,
I understand.
we've listened to these complaints, but the one that you just made now is a new level of outrageousness. We started on time. There's only one ward, one office. There's 19% turnout, not 76% turnout. So you've got 193,000 times fewer things to do. So it takes very little time. So when you arrive,
I actually was
timeout. When you arrive 15, 20 minutes late, when the poll watchers arrive 15, 20 minutes late, it's over. So your not being there, the poll watchers not being there at 9 o'clock, does not mean that we have to wait. Your being late does not create a problem for us. And your coming in here after arriving late and alleging falsely in front of this board that we started early is outrageous.
Okay,
And, you know, we've
let me
tolerated
say
a lot of
this.
behavior.
I was not at that audit, and I have only
Of
read
course not.
statements from 3 poll
Well,
watchers who
then
were at
I
that
would,
audit.
Then
I
what
would
are you
urge
basing
you
it?
to be more responsible and find out the facts and at what time they
Well, I
arrived.
just found out something.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, I think instead of making comments.
So on that one point, I have been corrected, and I will accept that correction. And as I said, all I did was I read some statements from the poll watchers who were there. I was not there
Well,
myself, so I'm unaware of
We
that.
began on time, we ended, and that was it.
But,
Anything
so,
else?
in closing, my point is, so I've heard several times the phrases, on advice of counsel, pending litigation.
You haven't heard that today.
I haven't, and I didn't say I had, Mr. Allen. The law has been broken here, and some bad things have happened, and poll watchers have been treated badly. I was at the November 5% retabulation, and it just seems to me, I'm just baffled, because I would think that in light of this court case, you would be putting your best foot forward to try to do a good job from now on. And it doesn't really seem that way to me. And, I mean, if counsel is advising you to treat poll watchers poorly or advising you to break the Illinois election code, that would surprise me. And in that case, you probably should get new counsel. So I'm baffled. I'm baffled by the behavior that I've cited since this court case came to be.
Thank you.
So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Olson.
Mercy.
Yes, mhm. Yes, Mr. Scanlon.
So, Mr. Olson hadn't heard it yet, but he'll hear it now. As he recognized, there is pending litigation between the board and certain individuals related to the 5% audit. On the advice of the board's counsel representing the board in this matter, not me, but other counsel, they've instructed the board not to comment on it. And I would reiterate, and support their advice to the board not to comment on it because of pending litigation. So Mr. Olson, gets to make his remarks pretty much unrebutted here. But I just want to repeat what I think board's counsel in this case has already said, and that is not to comment.
Thank you. And now we will proceed to Mr. Scanlon. Do we need executive session today?
No.
Okay. Okay. And if there are no other comments, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn until,
It'll be a week from today, March 21st at 9 a.m. And that part of that meeting will be to proclaim the results of the February 28th municipal election in the Fifth Ward.
okay, so we will, is there a motion to adjourn to March 21st at 9 a.m. For a special board meeting to proclaim the results of the February 28, 2017 election?
Madam Chairwoman, and Council, is that the continuation of the meeting that was begun in the evening of the election day?
It is.
And so we're just calling it back to session?
Correct.
Okay, very good. In which case, I shall so move that we adjourn today and that we reconvene the meeting that began on
February 28th.
February 28th at 7 p.m. and on March 21 at 9 a.m. And hopefully we won't have a blizzard then also.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.